Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In the past couple of sessions, we have seen comparison operator. We've been seeing comparison operators. So we have seen equal to or equals to. We have seen not equals to. We have seen not equals to, which we have seen less, less than, lesser, lower. We have seen greater, more, or higher than examples. Today, we are going to see how more than or equal to, or greater than or equals to, or higher than or equals to. All these three statements are exactly the same, very much similar to the variants which we saw earlier, greater than or equal to scenario. And we're going to see less than or equal to, or less than or equals to, or less than or equals, less than or equals to, or lesser than or equals to. So all these two statements are very similar in nature. We'll see an example how we can use this. Let's jump into it. In your operating system, launch our favorite Notepad++. Have already launched. So in this example, we have already seen less than, lesser than, or lower than. We have seen greater than, more than, or higher than example already. We'll use the same example pattern we are going to just update it with the equals to combination. Let's look into that. Open a new test and let's take a comparison operator template which we have. Say equal to, we can say first example we'll see as per order, less than or equals to, or lesser than or equals to, lower than or equals to. So we'll see this example first, and we can use the same pattern or perspective for our greater than example. Let's update this here. Higher than or equal to. In the previous example, we have seen the combination, which is less than or greater than. So let's update the code. So I have an old code copy pasted already. We have this, and we are going to implement lesser than or equal to operators. So this is the example we're going to see. Let's just copy paste it so that we have a clarity here. In the past example, we had less than. When we execute this less than, it will check it is less than 9. But let's say I update it 9 here and see what happens. So it's a true and let's say false. Which condition gets executed? Let's see out of these with this example. Let's see what happens. So we just said less than. In this particular case, 9 is less than 9. If I try to calculate it, let's check it up which one is getting executed, which is true or false. So to do so, let's save this whole code, comparison operators, and less than or equals to or greater than or equals to example, right? So let's save this and let's go to our command prompt, favorite command prompt. So let me block it this way. Go to favorite command prompt, type our code, TagUI, and now you see this is getting executed. So if you see here, although my 9 and 9 is pretty much equal, it will still treat as a less symbol. So ideally we wanted to have, let's update the statement as 9 is equals to 9, for example, and we can say false, 9 is not equals to 9, and let's just save it and see what happens, right? So it gives you more clarity, which is if you see it getting executed, now you see it's failing, although this value is greater. So whenever there is a greater than operator, whenever there is a less than or greater than operator involved in two numbers, when it has equal numbers, it still does not consider that it is 9 is technically 9 is less than 9. Yes, because of a fractional point. That's how a binary algorithm works. To avoid any kind of erroring out on this mechanism, the equal to, greater than or equal to sign really, or less than or equal to sign really helps. So instead of that, if we tend to use this statement, which is less than or equal to statement, then you would see correct value. So if I executed, this part of the statement will get executed, which is pretty much the condition which it determines. So it is very useful when we are trying to compare an equal number, whenever there is a variable or a value which is comparable value, which are same in terms of number, and that's where it's very effective or useful. So let's go and execute this example and see what would be the result. So if you see that now, because we use that, it becomes true. Now let's see the remaining options in the same model. Try to test it. I would go with our over here and go here, which is copy, because that's fastest to show an example. And then I'm going to paste it and I'm going to update it with or equals to, and I would update these value with this. So true. Let's update the value as 5 here to make it more consistent. Say 5, and say false. 5 is not equals to, here it's the same thing. We have 6. Let's just make it 7 and say 7, and we say true. 7 is equals to or lower than, and say false. You can say, to just prove a point, how does it work, right? So if you can see here, lower than or equal to, lesser than or equal to, or less than equal to. To make it a little more thing, I can say echo example. Looks a little bit more beautiful. Copy and paste, copy and finally paste. You can just provide your condition here, copy the condition, paste the condition, and do the saving. And let's try to execute it. Okay, say CLS, enter screen clear, and then I'm going to bring back our execution command, try to execute it and see what happens. And our expectation is it should be true, 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 because true. So let's say to test it in a more negative sense, let's say I do say 10 instead of 9, I say 15, and I say 17. Now, when it execute, it should basically, a false statement should get executed. Let's see what happens. See, both the options work if the condition is. So let's try to bring in one less. Let's say 8, and let's say 4, and let's say 6 to test it, so that now true values should be displayed. Let's save this, go back, let's run again. We have true values. So this concludes the less than operation. We'll see the greater than example. So we'll go here as we did in the past. We'll go copy paste, and then we'll come back, say echo, I'll say dash dash to beautify this, and dash 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 to go for it. Here we'll go back and then copy our greater than example, and we'll update the code to make it a little bit perfect. The logic remains same with respect to how we have seen it in lower than or equal to. So let's update the code to make it greater than or equals to, more than or equal to, higher than or equals to. All right, let's save this. Let's see how it is going to work. So the conceptually same. So in this particular case, 9 is greater than or equal to 8. The condition is true. And here also, like 9 is more than or equal to 8. That's true. And here also 9 is higher than or equal to. So we are testing now higher than condition. So all should display true here when we run it. So let's clear this, run again to see what value it shows for the greater than example. So if you see here, all are true because we are testing for a greater than value. So now let's go and update our code. Say it's equal to value, which is 9, and I say or equal to 9, and then we can take the same thing here, or equals to 9, or equals to 9. So let's save this and run and see. In this case, because we have this equals to, still our part is being executed. I updated the code. It should be 9 is greater than or equal to 9 should be displayed, and true should be the statement for all the three results. Let's see what happens. So let's come back here and execute this code and see what happens again. So if you see that, it should execute all the lower than, and when you come to greater than, you can see all the values, like 9 is greater than or equal to. Let's test it by changing the little bit more. Let's say 19, let's say 99, let's say 29 or 39, and save it and see. I'll say, instead of here, I'll say 39. I'll make the things false. So we are going to validate false value rather than a positive value. So see how it works. Say 99, and in this case, now we should see all the false values being executed. Let's try running it and see what the value is. See, you see all the false values. So our condition really works in all the criteria. So it's all about how you provide this condition and criteria. So I'll reset it back to the same value so that when I'm going to upload this example, you can take it and use it. 9. This concludes our comparison operators. We have seen all the comparison operator, less than, greater than, less than, equal to, or greater than or equal to operations. Thank you for watching.